It's the Mustang Insider Show.
All right, well, this is another edition of the Cal Poly Mustang Insider. Annika Shah is our guest. Cal Poly women's basketball, they've already matched their win total from all of last season, and the calendar just flipped to December. Annika leads the Mustangs at more than 10 points a game. Annika, thanks for taking some time to chat with us. How have things been for you here in the early season?
It's been great. I mean, Coach Dyers and the rest of the coaching staff has had us really grinding since summer. But we've really put everything together and continue to prove every single day. And that's all that we can really ask for ourselves is just continuous improvement, as our motto's been since summer. So it's really been great and can't wait to see what else we can do this next coming season.
Now, you hit your first career game winner at Fresno State a couple weeks ago. Take me through that play, what you guys kind of drew up, and your confidence to take that shot late in the game.
Yeah, so I was and when Coach Dyers was drawing up that play, I was the kind of like the first look, but usually you wouldn't expect that look to be open just with how teams usually defend. But Jazz sent me a great screen and Sid was inbounding it and passed it to me right away. And once I got the ball, I wasn't really thinking about I have to make this or that it was a game winner. I kind of just took the play as just another play in any game. And just had to make reads in the moment. But it was a pretty surreal moment just for me. I've never had a game winner, but just to celebrate that with my teammates and a huge road win, it was just an awesome feeling.
Wow, so first career game winner at any level.
Yeah, none in high school, none since I started playing in kindergarten, if those even really count. But yeah, it was my first career game winner.
I think we all kind of dream of whether it be hitting the game-winning shot or scoring the game-winning goal, hitting the game-winning home run, whatever the case might be. We all kind of dream about that as a kid. So who are some of the basketball players and athletes that you maybe idolized growing up that you tried to kind of mold your game after?
Yeah, so I would say there's a collection of a lot of athletes over the years. I've kind of adapted through different athletes, but just being from the Bay Area, Steph Curry, everyone loves him. I love him even more. He's just kind of the way that he's changed the game with a 3 pointer is something that I love and kind of had got to grow up with just being a Warriors fan since I was born. So he's always been a player that I've idolized and wanted to be like. On the women's side, I'm a huge fan of Sabrina Ionescu. Her also being from the Bay Area, I've kind of watched her since she was in high school. Obviously, we have an age gap, but my first time watching her was when she was a senior at Miramani, and then obviously went on to Oregon and killed it there. And she was kind of the player that made me really into watching women's sports. So I just love how she kind of tackles every single area of the game, assists, rebounds, points, and just how great of a leader she is. That's, something that I want to become. Obviously, I'm still learning, but she changed that Oregon program, and I've idolized her since she was super young. But there's a number of players that I really love. I also have to give it to like the Muggsy Bogues, like the smaller players that really put shorter players on the map there. Isaiah Thomas, just there's a lot of great athletes, but I would say those two, Steph Curry on the men's side, and then Sabrina Ionescu were big idols for me. But my favorite player of all time is Magic Johnson. I love his flashy passes and um, I used to watch like highlights of him on YouTube, of all his passes and everything about his game. So he's my all-time favorite, but I could keep going. The list could keep going, but there's a lot of great players.
Annika Shah, sophomore of Cal Poly women's basketball, I guess. So you sound like a big hoops junkie, and so you're obviously playing the right sport at the highest level here in college, Division One. Magic Johnson, a lot of opportunities to see what he's been doing with the different documentaries and series that have kind of come out over the last year. So it's more than just that, beyond the YouTube highlights that you mentioned. But since that Fresno win that we talked about, you guys as a team have hosted top-ranked South Carolina. That must have been a terrific experience to kind of see Aaliyah Boston, Dawn Staley, the rest of that team up close. And then your most recent game a win against San Jose State. How much of a roller coaster was that week for you, Thanksgiving week, with the Gamecocks here and then the Thanksgiving holiday, and then you guys had back-to-back games as part of the Holiday Beach Classic at Mott?
Yeah, it was a lot, and especially with a lot of us having our families here, we were super focused on the games, but also trying to give a lot of energy to our families. So, it was a busy week for us, but to play a team like South Carolina, to have the national champions come into Mott Gym, that was a surreal moment. Being a basketball junkie, as you said, I am a huge Dawn Staley fan, so I was able, even being her opponent, I was able to get an autograph and a picture with her. She's just amazing and a huge idol to women's sports in general. But I think it was a good it was a good game for us in a sense where we learned how to never play scared. We obviously have a huge opponent coming in. We have, these All-Americans, Aaliyah Boston, arguably the best college player right now, come in and play against them. And there were a little bit of nerves to start the game. But, once we kind of got over that, there was a huge energy shift. And, just being able to kind of have that second quarter, which was a huge quarter for us, and be able to see that we can compete against these girls, it kind of helped shape the way for the rest of our season. Because if we can compete against South Carolina, we can compete against a lot of the opponents that we will be seeing. But then again, it was just a huge learning experience and a great way for us to kind of build off and get ready for our Thanksgiving tournament, where we saw two great opponents. Obviously, Sac State shot uh, amazing at the three pointers, and just they have great players, and that again was, it was great to see a good opponent like that has a lot of experience. And obviously we're a younger team, so we're still learning in that sense. But to start off against them was a great learning experience for us, because we really had to dig in defensively. It was kind of our first game where we had different defensive strategies for different players, because all their different players have different strengths. So a huge learning experience for us, and we have to carry that over, because we're going to see some great opponents like them in conference. But it was awesome for our team to really respond and bring it to San Jose State. Obviously, the way we ended that game wasn't so clean, but to be able to get the outcome we wanted, and uncover a lot of areas that we need to improve in. That's big. And obviously, this entire week, we've really been focusing on our skills and certain things that, this past week has uncovered about our games that we need to improve on. So it was a great week for us. But, we're super excited for our next opponents to come.
Annika Shah, Cal Poly women's basketball, our guest. Now, you mentioned you're from the Bay, Palo Alto, your hometown. You guys played at Stanford second week of the season. You talk about playing the best to be the best. I mean, this was a gauntlet, not only among teams in the Big West, but really among teams across the country, seeing Stanford, South Carolina, UCLA, the first few weeks of the season. I don't know if there's anybody else in women's college basketball that had that type of a schedule out of the gate, but how special was it for you to play that game at Stanford, really close to your hometown? I mean, did you go to Stanford games growing up? Because that's always been a great women's basketball program.
Yeah, of course. I moved to Palo Alto when I was in fifth grade, so pretty much had majority of my childhood there. My high school is right across the street from Stanford. I grew up going to so many games. Before COVID, when Stanford played the USA women's team, went to those games. I've been to so many Stanford games, and have been a fan of them. But obviously now I'm here at Cal Poly, and more of a fan of Cal Poly, obviously. But no, it was a great trip for us, just to be able to go to my hometown. We actually had a pregame meal at my house. My parents had everything prepared, and we watched film at my house. And just to be able to bring this amazing culture, this amazing family into my home, was a super special moment for myself and my family included. And then to be able to go play at Stanford and have a lot of the crowd there to support me and my team, was just an amazing experience. And again, a huge learning opportunity for us to play the number 2 ranked team in the nation. So a lot of those great players that we grew up watching, and some of us played against in high school too. So it was kind of similar experience to South Carolina, just to be able to come out and compete. But that game was just awesome to be a part of, and just a great experience to have my this team come to my house. Something about this culture and this family, it just felt really great.
Now, you went through the ups and downs last season as a true freshman with this program. Coach Mimnar retired after the year, and then Chanel Stiers, her energy, her charisma, her passion for the game, she takes over this program. What was that transition like for you and your teammates returning from last season, going through that month where you're kind of in flux without a head coach, and then meeting Coach Stiers for the first time and kind of getting to know what she's all about?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of started with a lot of uncertainty with, as you just said, that time period of like a month where we didn't really have any guidance or anything. But as soon as Coach Stars came in and, she handled everything that she needed to do, we just got going straight from the jump. And, that's everything we could ask for from her. Just obviously she had to transition her entire life to, come here, but she was ready to go from the jump. So, just to have herself just being super direct with us, and then, getting the rest of the coaching staff on board. She handled everything really well, and really implied the same message to us about how we just need to improve, we need to fight, and who cares about what happened last year, because this is a new year. And I appreciate her a lot, and the rest of this coaching staff, with how much of a high standard that they hold us to, because they're able to um, help us understand more about ourselves that we didn't even know that we had, in our bag. Or just even for my game, what Coach Stars has done for these past couple months, I've been able to kind of get out of my shell and just grow as a person, as a player. So I really appreciate all that she's done, and the rest of this coaching staff, for all of us.
Hey, don't look now, but the start of the Big West season is just a few games away. You guys get going with a road game at CSUN to kick off a 20-game conference schedule right before the new year, and then you have your first home game against the defending Big West champs on New Year's Eve. What do you feel like this team needs to kind of tweak and get a little bit better at before the start of conference play?
Yeah, so obviously having this hard preseason schedule has, as we talked about, has opened a lot of areas that we need to improve on. And with these 2 weeks since our Thanksgiving tournament, before we play NAU next Saturday, we're really trying to focus on our skills, and certain areas of our game that we really need to improve on, and focus on more. So it's really important for us to take these moments of gaps between games to really improve our skills, and everything else that we need to collectively as a team. But we're so excited for this conference schedule. And it was we in the beginning of the year, we had a lot of people doubt us just with how last season went. But we can't wait to prove them wrong. And this entire preseason schedule has really prepared us to continuously improve and get ready for this conference schedule. So we can't be more excited to start uh, the Big West Conference and just have games, 2 games a week, just games, games, games. Because even this long break, we would rather play games, but it's important for us to really improve and get ready for what conference has for us.
Yeah, I mentioned long break. You guys are in the midst of a 14-day stretch without any games. That's going to come to an end Saturday the 10th. Northern Arizona comes to mind. It's a 2 p.m. tip, part of a women's men's doubleheader. So a lot of good hoops on the Central Coast for Mustang fans. And that's the final home game of the non-conference schedule. From there, you guys are headed up to Seattle and then Bozeman to take on Montana State before you get ready for Christmas, and then ultimately the Big West season opener. Annika, thanks so much for taking some time to jump on Mustang Insider with us. Where can Cal Poly fans follow you on social media and keep up with the season?
Yeah, I mean, on Instagram, Annika Shah underscore, post a lot on there. And just following us with on Cal Poly Women's Basketball Instagram, Twitter. We post a lot there, and a lot of updates. We have our social media going, so there's going to be a lot of fun stuff to see on there, but a lot of important information about our incoming games and everything else.
Annika Shah, Cal Poly women's basketball. Hey, we wish you the best moving forward and to continue your great work. I'd love to see you guys improving game by game.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, good stuff from Annika Shah. Really excited about the direction Chanel Stiers has the women's basketball program headed. As always, we'd like to thank our partners for making this content possible. You can trust that quality care is just around the corner at French Hospital Medical Center, proud supporters of Cal Poly Athletics. Learn more at dignityhealth.org/French Hospital. We'd like to encourage you also to stop by Grocery Outlet San Luis Obispo. They've got sizzling fajitas, hearty beef sliders, among other things like bite-sized mini taco cups, and a mouth-watering Southwest Chicken Bowl. Mustang fans, you won't want to miss these dishes in the Grocery Outlet Mustang Tailgater Recipe Book. Get to all your fresh ingredients at Grocery Outlet's San Luis Obispo store on Madonna Road and feast on these yummy tailgating favorites before a game or at home. Until next time, I'm Chris Sylvester. You've been watching the Mustang Insider, powered by our friends at Learfield.
This has been the Mustang Insider Show. The preceding has been a Learfield's presentation on the Cal Poly Sports Network.